Hi everyone. So we're back with the Glow Up, and this is Michelle Martin.
Hi.
Michelle, tell us what brings you into the aesthetic space. Like, what is your involvement with aesthetics?
So I'm an independent brand ambassador, and I like to focus on the wellness and aesthetic space. So I represent Lativo, Benev Exosomes, skin boosters, the PDRN. Also, I have peptides and GLPs, bioidentical hormones. So really everything in the wellness and aesthetic space.
Well, I love the fact that aesthetics and wellness are just paired hand in hand, because I feel like now people can get such more of a concierge type of assessment, right? We're no longer going to a primary care doctor and just on a 15-minute interval and the ins and outs and being prescribed some big pharma medication, where I think in aesthetics, right, like we already care about the confidence on the outside, but a lot of that confidence determines how we feel on the inside. I feel like externally it definitely helps, but internally how we feel and hitting in your 40s, 50s,
I'm not there yet, but 40s, yes.
But like your energy level is just like hard to match society anymore with like the fast-paced society we live in. And so I think we're always looking for ways to improve, at least for myself, it's energy, because where I am at 43 isn't the same as where I was at 32.
Right.
And I want to sustain. I need to sustain. So I think the aesthetic space has integrated with wellness, and I think it is the way of the future. And our providers have a platform that allows a lot of that wellness to be integrated into our practices, backed by our physician. And peptides are always a hot topic.
They are.
GLP-1s have been huge, and I was so anti-GLP-1 for years.
Did you feel like you were cheating?
Well, I wouldn't integrate them in, and I'm like, well, there's just like only one way to go about it, until I realized that one time I went on vacation with this girl with a six-pack, and I gave it the fact that it was her age, and she told me she was taking GLP-1s, and I was like, that's it. And I was like,
sign me up.
Yes, I was like, I'm no longer going to attribute that it's just people's natural hard work anymore.
Right.
And why am I just holding out on this?
Exactly. So I went to the doctor, just my general practitioner doctor, for years, and I was complaining about always being tired, not feeling good. And they're like, your labs are completely fine. And so, that was really a struggle in my later 20s and 30s and really into my early 40s. And then I found a physician and practice that focuses on wellness. And, we've really fine-tuned a lot of things, and I feel amazing. And peptides are one of them. I mean, but even just your thyroid, getting you to sleep better at night, really encompassing everything.
Yes.
Just to make your whole self feel better and have energy and be able to perform.
What peptides do you take?
I love MOTS-C. I take the copper peptide, and sometimes I switch it up between that and Glow. KPV for inflammation, because inflammation is huge with, there's so many studies about causing diseases down the road. And DSIP sometimes for sleep. So it's the Delta Sleep Induced Peptide.
Okay.
I was taking sleep medicine, and then you feel really groggy. So if I don't sleep for a couple nights, I'll take that, and it just kind of helps reset. So that's currently what I'm on.
So I have not tried the MOTS-C. I dabble into some research-based, which our providers are not allowed to prescribe research-based, right? But I personally utilize them. But there are some on the market, obviously, like NAD, MOTS-C.
Right.
There are some others, Tessalmorelin, like those are all FDA approved and indicated. I do currently do NAD, and I love it.
I do that too. Sorry. I left that one out. So,
I swear it's what made me pretty. All of a sudden I started
taking NAD.
Pretty. No,
I'm telling you. Been pretty.
I started doing NAD, and I was like, I have this glow up. And I was like, I think it's the NAD.
Skin. Yeah, it makes your skin just kind of glowy, along with the copper peptide,
Yes, I do the Clo stack, so it does have the copper peptide in there with the KPV, everything you were just saying. Mm-hmm. And like sometimes I feel like my body feels 10 pounds.
Yes.
And I think that's all. I've been taking a multivitamin religiously because I do
Yes.
have to say, I did this experiment. I'm very acne prone, right? And
Uh-huh.
so sometimes I'm like, no, it's my tretinoin that's helping my acne. No, it was the KPV. But I did this experiment where I wasn't on anything, and then just my multivitamin, because I heard zinc
Zinc is so good for
linked
you.
for acne.
Yes.
I had no idea.
Yes.
But like once I became diligent in my just daily multivitamin,
Right.
game changer.
I know.
For sure.
Well, it is all about everything, right? It's not one thing, it's about this, that, and the other. And vitamins are so important for you. And
It's-
just figuring out which ones are right for you.
But especially on a GLP-1.
Oh,
If
for
somebody
sure.
is taking that and they are now nutrient deficient and they're not wanting to eat as much, to
Right.
make sure that they are getting a broad spectrum multivitamin, because they're not getting that well-rounded diet.
Right.
And our diets in general as Americans just aren't going to
No,
be.
yes.
Yes, so
Yeah.
I do think that is essential. Also on a GLP-1 to add in, biotin and stuff for the hair,
Right.
just to help with that.
Right.
But
People
that
don't
GHKCU also helps
Right.
with hair.
People don't realize when you don't eat, your hair falls out because you're basically starving your hair follicle. It starts to affect everything. So, but yeah, it's just everything that, and also, with the GLPs, a lot of times when you lose weight, it's muscle. So you got to make sure that you maintain that muscle so that once you get off those GLPs, that you can still, continue to be a metabolism fat burning machine.
Yeah.
So it's so important to keep lean muscle.
So what would it take for someone who wanted to get into peptides through your wheelhouse, your arena? Like, what are the requirements for that?
So you have to have an NPI, you have to have a physician, and then you just reach out to me, and then I can set up an account. But we do check to make sure we only sell to physicians and provider based. So those NPI numbers are vetted, so we make sure that it is a legit company. So yes.
In your exosome world, so exosomes are also something that I was like, is it worth it? Is it not? Tell me about what you have. Exosomes.
So I have Benev exosomes, and what I will say is that they're one of the most researched exosomes out there. They spend $80 million on their facility. There's like 75 peer-reviewed studies. They have them in 68 countries. There's a ton of research behind it, and it's from adipose tissue of pre-COVID, and basically those are the stem cells that they harvested, and so they're pure. There is no disease in them, and they just keep multiplying. And basically, if you want to reach it, it's basically like a messenger for your cells. So once you apply those exosomes, it tells your skin, hey, this is what the job that you need to do. And, people are getting amazing results from them. And, Benev is definitely a researched company.
So how are they applied? Like how do
So you can, you can do it after laser. You can do it after microneedling, anything that breaks the surface of the skin.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how long would someone use the exosomes for?
So you apply it directly after.
Okay.
And then, we have an Exo Blanc cream that helps with at home and the masks as well. So you can apply that daily afterwards.
What's the difference between like an exosome and the PDRN?
So the PDRN is what's basically going to change your skin, the texture, the, fine lines. Really, honestly, you need both. if I'm going to tell you, one is for the exosomes are the messengers that help create healthy skin, whereas the PDRN is going to help change the look of your skin. It's going to give you a brighter look. It's going to help with hyperpigmentation, crepiness, you name it. I honestly think both are great.
So would you use PDRN also following procedure? Do you want the open skin?
So you don't want to treat at the same time. So you could do exosomes and then 2 weeks later treat with PDRN.
Okay.
You just need a different modality. If you're doing microneedling, then in 2 weeks, obviously you wouldn't want to microneedle again. You'd have to use something else to break the surface of the skin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah. And so I also have like the glass skin, which is great if you have anything coming up. and you want that hydrated, glowy look, which is great. Yeah,
I want that every day, right?
Right. I use it every Sunday night. Yeah.
Like porcelain.
Right, exactly. I mean, I don't have porcelain skin, but I'm working on that. So, yeah, but, just really anything. I kind of got into the Korean beauty because it's so big. And obviously with Lativo, that's from Korea. So I started bringing on products that make sense and
So Lativo, for those of you who don't know, is just another neuromodulator that's FDA approved in the United States. So it's the latest one on the market.
Yes.
Similar to Botox or any of the neurotoxins.
Yeah, similar. It's again, it's been number one in South Korea for 10 years, and they do have over 18 neuromodulators. But, it kicks in 1 to 3 days. It lasts around 3 months, and it's very precise, which makes it great for, the ROI is definitely there, but it makes it great for the lower face, the platysmal bands, really anywhere in the face. But the company came out to help practices with gaining ROI for the tox. Yeah. So the price is great.
That's interesting you pointed that out though for the lower face, because that's what I represent it for, right? I'm like, okay, if I'm going to use massive amounts of units in areas such as masseters, DA is not a ton, but any like platysmal bands, hyperhidrosis.
Oh, yes.
Why am I not going to use one of my lesser expensive toxins, right? Like where I'm dumping a lot of units at and getting the same benefits because it's just cost effective for, well, you can make it cost effective for the client or you can retain more money.
Right.
I mean, I think it's a win and all.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's exactly there as I promote it. And a provider could use one different one if they chose to elsewhere and still choose that one for the other places.
If you have a patient who wants a super frozen forehead, then this might not be the product for you. However, you can use it everywhere else because it's so precise.
Yeah,
wherever you inject it, it stays, which is great.
Yes.
Yeah.
What else? So
I just brought on a LED red light and orange light hat, which helps with hair growth.
Okay.
It targets the 3 things. Basically, testosterone turns into DHT, which prevents your hair from growing. It also helps calm inflammation and helps provide nutrients back to the hair follicles. So as we age, your hair follicles go from like 3 to 4 strands down to 1. And it's not even as we age. It's if you're on GLPs, if you're on testosterone, if you're stressed out. And wearing this hat for 10 minutes a day, by week 16, you will start to see noticeable hair growth. There are so many white papers behind it, so that's why I decided to pick it up. Everything that I bring in, I always think, would I use it myself?
For sure.
Yeah, because you're not going to bring in something that doesn't interest you, right?
I always said I could never be a sales rep unless I totally 1000% sincerely believed in it. So I couldn't be in sales in general. But I think I could as long as I was passionate about what those were. But I was always afraid when I was young to get hired into some kind of company and be like, you want me to go sell this product that I'm unsure of?
Yes, yes. And I have sold products that I've been unsure of, and it is not an easy sell. You're like, because they'll ask, are you using it? Yeah, sure.
Yes.
I sold this one Korean skin booster like back in 2016, and it broke my face. I was allergic to it, and so that was so hard to sell. So hard. Great product, just I couldn't use it.
Did you make it did you feel inauthentic going around and just trying to promote something that you didn't love?
Yeah, because I knew when people looked at my skin, or practitioners, providers, they were like, she's probably not using the product. And I had bumps and lumps and everything. It was just not good. So.
I always tell providers, there is an element of selling when you're in this industry, but not really. I always tell providers, you are eliminating someone's insecurities. You're literally, they are paying, but as providers, it's hard for us to attach pricing, right? Because we're not salespeople, we're just healthcare workers plucked out of a hospital environment where money was never a factor. We knew that their insurance company was getting, charged $50 for a Tylenol or something, but we couldn't help that. But now being in a practice where you set the standards of your pricing,
Mm-hmm.
it's uncomfortable. But at the same time, when you really, I know what I would pay for my insecurities to be taken away, right? It's just one less thing I have to be self-conscious about. Then it leads to my confidence. And I always say, when you look good, you feel good, and you do good. Right. You're just so much more elevated. And
you attract what you want in life.
Totally.
Yes.
Because you're an energy girl just as well as myself. And like what you put out is what you get. And like you just want all goodness to come and flow.
I didn't believe that until I started changing my mindset, and things like good things all the time just started coming to me. And I'm like, what am I doing? And I think it was me accepting who I was, and this is who I want to be, and I deserve this. I deserve to be happy. I deserve everything in life that I want. And things just started coming to me, and that's pretty amazing.
Being in that flow state.
Yes.
But it's really easy to fall out of it.
Oh, sure. Sure it is, yes.
Life is a journey, and sometimes circumstances happen, and there's lots of trials and tribulations that will try to change that. But someone once told me, control your mind, control your life.
Yes.
But it is like a muscle. Like it's like you have to do it every day to stay on top of it.
Yes.
And easier said than done.
Yes.
Because again, sometimes the more light you carry, the more challenges.
Right.
Or
I print things off and I stick it all over my house, and and I have this person that I go to, and she kind of resets me, but she gives me ideas, and once I know I'm falling off of that or I'm kind of sidetracked, I'll put into practice whatever she says to do, and it's like clicks back in. But it's like a weekly where you have to kind of check in with yourself and make sure that you're still carrying that light, or it doesn't always just happen. It's work.
It doesn't just happen. And I think the role of society too, like as being a woman, we carry on such a large load, especially for those of us who are in a business, working on a business, being a mother, and caring for yourself. Right. Like
you always put yourself last.
Totally.
And until you don't, you really have to make time for yourself.
You definitely have to make time for yourself. And I think that it sounds selfish, but you're so much better at everything else when you just set out these small periods of time to work on your mind, your body, your soul. I think it takes all of it to like become the best version of you. Right. And to tell yourself that you deserve it. And that it's okay. Mm-hmm. And it's okay if you have to miss a child event for something else. Like we can't do it all.
It's so hard though. It's so hard, and I know it is okay, but you feel that guilt, and it's you just have to
Do you ever feel like you're being judged by others?
Always. I think I used to. I think now I've moved past that, and I don't know if it's my age or my kids are older, but I don't really care as much. I kind of feel like I would always worry about what people thought I looked like, what people thought of what I said. Am I the right person? Am I tall enough? Am I thin enough? All that. And if you don't worry about that, it's a huge relief.
I think people's like vibration just radiates, because I think you can like realistically in a still picture like be like, oh, this person is mediocre, but you see them in real life and their light can just radiate and supersede that. So I think it goes back to that internal energy of feeling good inside and out that really represents a person. And I just learned from working with women that there are so many beautiful women.
So many.
There are so many pretty people. And I always used to think back to Hollywood, well, look at all those beautiful women. Like what made one prettier than the next? They all had different features or different characteristics about them that made them so great. But I think when you're just a great person in general, it far supersedes any kind of external beauty.
I would agree.
But I also think external beauty can help that. Yes, elevate
it's your internal, yes. The other thing that I've been trying to focus on is being grateful. So like even the little things in life, like something small, just really kind of being thankful or grateful for that, because there are so many things that happen on a daily basis that are great, and we don't realize we tend to focus on the negative. And I think when you focus on the positive, it really makes you light and free.
Yes.
Like you can almost float through the
I'm
day.
super into Joe Dispenza, and don't get me wrong, I am a woman of God. You know,
Right.
I love God to the core, but Joe Dispenza just represents that gratitude state of being, and he was like, and feel the feeling of it, and allow that to contribute to the flow state, to allow things to reciprocate and to come back from what you put out. But again, I think it's just a daily practice, and sometimes I'll beat myself up though, because I know that gratitude could just be one simple text, but why sometimes do I feel so heavy and weighed down by sending it? And then I'll beat myself up for just not doing it or not going just that extra little step, because sometimes I'm completely depleted, and that's like the cycle I can get stuck in. But my life is so much more open when I'm grateful.
I know.
I used to challenge a former employee every morning. I was like, send out 3 gratitude texts, you know, every morning.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yes, and just like people you haven't reached out to, or like, you know, haven't heard, and just say, hey, I just thought about you. Like,
I love that.
Yes.
I love getting those messages. It really, I mean,
oh my gosh, when you are on the receiving end, you're like, thank you.
Yeah, and it really sets your day. You know, even if you're having a good day or a bad day, whatever, it totally changes your mood on how you feel that day. Even the
just
next
like when
days.
someone gives you a compliment, like out of the blue. Like the other night, I ordered Instacart, and the lady, I had to meet her at the door because I didn't get a bottle of wine, so I had to give her my driver's license, and just to keep on stock. But she was like, "You're so pretty," and I was like,
"I know."
Me? Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
I used to say, like, me? What? You know, oh, please. And then, but if you turn that around and you're like, thank you. That was so nice. You know, it really does make you feel different.
Yes, so I love to do that to strangers. Like, oh my gosh, I love those shoes. Like, like
it's the littlest thing.
It's the littlest things that can make your day so much better.
Right.
But it goes back to, I think sometimes here in the Midwest, sometimes there's some small-minded mentality, you know, and I think the best advice that I gave to a person recently, she went through a situation in her business, and she was so distraught, and she was like, the only thing I can think of is what they're saying about me. And I was like, I know, but if you live in your own truth and you know that you are the best person you can possibly be, with all the right intentions and actions to follow through, their word doesn't matter.
No.
Like, you stand in your own truth and in your own light, and like allow that to just override anything. Like I have always had tunnel vision. I had haters from the very beginning. 7 years ago, people didn't like that I was doing something different, and that I just created something that was just a little unique from the rest. And I was like, if I listened to everything they said, I would not have a business today. It was just tunnel vision. Let the haters hate. And sometimes I'm like, that's free advertisement. If you're throwing me down on social media, you're still putting my name out there. People are still going to know. And you know what? Over time, they'll learn what the real value and what the real integrity behind everything is.
Yeah, and I'm a firm believer in one door closes for a reason. Like, God has a plan for you, and sometimes it hurts during that moment, but it closes for a reason, and bigger, better things are around the corner.
Yes.
I really do believe that.
They said
it's happened to me before, you know, and I thought, oh God, I'm never going to be able to. And
they said this past year was the season of the snake.
Oh,
and
yes.
Like, that was all the shedding to be done for the next greatest things to come. But sometimes I also told that person, you can't understand the why of it all.
Can't.
Because when circumstances would arise in my life, I would be like, why? Why did that happen?
Right.
I will reflect on what is my accountability in it, because I'm sure I have some key, and what can I improve, you know, for that. But sometimes it's just a different season, a different era. Those people, those things didn't belong any longer, and you just gotta always find the silver lining in any of the unfortunate circumstances, and just onward and upward.
Yes, and you gotta be open to it too, because it won't, you know, I mean, different things will come your way, and you just have to be open to it. You can't close a door. You have to listen. And that was one thing that I've been working on, is like, you know, something might come up. Don't say no just because you don't think it fits in your life right now at this moment. Just say, okay, I'll think about it, you know. And that's kind of where this whole independent and brand ambassador kind of came around, and just really honestly anything in my life too. I'm just trying to like keep an open mind about things.
Yeah.
Stay on the positive side, be thankful, and
Yeah.
every day
I think you've always had a great energy and
Oh,
like
thanks.
a great
So do you.
Yes.
But we're about the same. We're kind of the same with that. So yeah.
Like you're just always seem like you're on. You could be having a bad day and nobody would even know just because you just override those.
Yeah, well,
times.
I mean, I do have bad days. Everybody does, but I mean, I'm a people person too. Like, I get my energy from people.
Yeah.
My husband's totally opposite. He has to go climb in a hole, but if I'm in a bad mood, just being around anyone, it just kind of brightens my day.
I definitely am both. Like, I need periods to recharge.
Sure.
To be able to just, like, take back in, like, build myself back up and just to be able to serve others. But I do think that's also the key to happiness is serving others. We're putting on this planet to help everyone in some sort of way, or those who we cross paths with,
I agree.
So I think sometimes people get stuck and they don't know what their purpose might be.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, I just know that I'm better if I'm helping someone.
Oh, for sure.
Whether it's 1 people or 10 people in a day, as long as I'm exerting some kind of effort to better someone else makes me better.
Well, you're always helping people. I feel like, the Glow Institute helps people. Nurses live out their dreams. And I always love your vibe and thrive, or thrive and vibe, whichever way you say it. But I mean, it's so true. You've given so many people an avenue to do something that they could have never done before.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
Well, I like to identify as the Uber of aesthetics.
You are the Uber of aesthetics.
So we grow entrepreneurs,
yes.
right? We give them the platform and the foundation because providers are bad entrepreneurs.
Right.
I know that personally.
I work with them. So
I'm not the best entrepreneur. That's why it takes a team of professionals to hold me together, because I'm like, but I'm the biggest advocate for providers, because I'm like, let me speak provider lingo to you, because we're not reading those emails.
No,
They'll be like, my admin team will be like, we sent it out in an email. I'm like, nobody read it.
No, I know.
We're just doers. We're just like hands-on, like just tell us, get to the point, cut out all that extra stuff. I don't even know if we can read anymore.
You can read. Yes. So, I mean, what you've done has been amazing for so many people. Yeah. So, yeah. And it provides a safe platform for them too.
I just say we're the foundation to get started. Their success is really up to them, but we like to have all the tools and resources to make sure that they can succeed, but it's their drive, their ambition, their passion that will make sure that it happens.
And I love working with, there's so many different personalities in the group, and I do my best to get to know everybody, especially the ones that use the product, just to make sure that there's an open door they can ask. But I mean, it's been a lot of fun meeting so many different people that I would maybe not have crossed paths with in the past, or in the future, or, it's been a lot of fun. And some of them I talk to all the time. I mean, Mandy and we talk like several times a day, and we've become good friends.
Well, she's just a bright light like
she is.
Yes.
She's awesome.
Yes.
So, but I mean, there's so many personalities, and I learn from them. So
I do too, because someone will check me right back into place. I'm not so heavy on the regulatory side, because my little free spirit just wants to do.
Sure.
And then it's like, bring it back in, Jamie. Maybe I shouldn't be on that call when we're talking compliance, because I'll be like, well, here's how I would cheat that little corner, for the best interest. And then my team will be like, and I'm like, what? It's just common sense. This is all you have to do for this. And they're like, okay, maybe you should be on the call next time.
Yeah. I really love the nurses that join, and they're from rural areas. It's so fun to work with them and give them ideas on how to build a business and just different marketing ideas. But that's a lot of fun, just because, especially since they're not in St. Louis, they're from out. So, the way they set up their business is going to be a little bit different than St. Louis. And it's just fun to connect with them.
Yes. So we're really growing. Like, we just signed on 5 providers in Pennsylvania.
I know. I've talked to a couple of them.
Yes. Of all states, like, who would have thought that would have been our next greatest place?
Rachel from Pennsylvania. Yes. I've been in contact with her. But I love to set up Zooms so that I can see their face and introduce myself. And even though, they're several hours away, they know that I'm here to help, provide anything.
We're a licensed distributorship, so we're allowed to ship to certain states, within what licensures we have. So we're able to service them with your products and your knowledge. And
so it's
a win for everyone.
Yeah. This
Yeah.
has been so fun.
Yes, well, thank you for coming
Of
today
course.
and
Yeah.
taking your time out to talk all things.
Of
Any
course.
last things you want to drop?
I'm really here to help you. I like to build trust. And so if I don't think that something makes sense for your practice, your business, I won't push it. So because the relationship that I have with that provider is more important than a sale or a product. So, I only bring on things that like we said, I myself would use. And, I just really want to build on trust. So
Perfect.
Yeah.
I think that's how the whole world should operate. That's how I
Yes.
operate seeing clients. I want to do only what's necessary for them,
Right.
not waste their money. I just want
Yeah.
them to have the most optimal outcome.
I
And
agree.
so I just think if you do what's right, you can't go wrong.
Right. Exactly. I like that.
All right. Well, thanks.